Hi, my name is Core Bubbles, and I made a F.L.U.D. backpack for Mario Sunshine. I did this for my cosplay birthday party, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to jazz up my casual Mario costume with stuff that I had around the house. This is a build I've been working on for quite a while, so let me show you what I did. The styrofoam balls that I used for this project have large pieces of styrofoam in them, so I had to be careful that I didn't pull off too much of it because it made it look really messy. So I made indents for almost all my cuts, and then I brute forced them. So I was able to get some cleaner cuts. So instead of making the grooves, which are actually in the F.L.U.D., I decided to make a raised detail because of the cuts are really messy because it's a large, poor styrofoam. So here I cut off the sides of a larger ball, and I'm going to use those extra pieces in a minute for the little details. And you want to be careful with using an X-Acto knife because you can hurt yourself, and this isn't Threadbanger and no blood is allowed. So like I said, I used mostly pieces from around the house. I did use PVC pipe for the structure. That's something that I had purchased previously in the previous attempt at making this costume, but I decided that I wanted to keep it because it's great and it's very inexpensive. I wasn't very thrifty in this in terms of being smart with not using a ton of foam. I just brute forced my way through the costume, and I just kind of made my own funnels here, you can see. Instead of having a ring around the nozzle, I just folded back the foam because I was pretty short on time and I didn't really have any options. So here you can see the head's done, and I'm working on my PVC structure, which I've already screwed together and glue gunned because the screw will not keep it screwed very well. Here I am making the accordion type middle piece. I originally had gotten a plunger for this, and for some reason I threw out the only part that was the right size. So you can see that I am making these rings and retracing them each time so they're slightly larger, and I'm gluing together the outsides, and then I'm taking little pieces of my excess foam and I'm stuffing it inside to give it some volume. If I had my time back, I would have painted it at this stage, or I would have just used blue foam, but I didn't have any time, so I can't have it back, so I did what I could. Here you can see that method of indenting with my X-Acto knife and then pushing the PVC pipe through. For any parts that I wanted to cover and I wanted to have a fitting piece of foam, I would just use the PVC pipe as a guide and wrap my foam around it, and then hot glue gun it. I'm hot glue gunning basically this whole costume and this whole thing, and this might be not the best method, but it's the method I'm got, because you gotta realize that I finished this costume an hour before people showed up, and I wanted it to look decent. So this is how it went. So you can see there the pieces are coming along. I'm basically doing a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of stuff I didn't show in this, but overall it really came together, and it was a lot of fun to just make and to build. You can see that I didn't have enough T's there, because you can get T's and you don't need to do these weird makeshift joints, but I didn't have enough T's, so I just used another styrofoam ball because for some reason I had a ton of those. This method of covering the PVC pipe was really effective, and later on you'll see that I painted the PVC pipe, and I should have not. Here is the handles that he has. They're brown. If I had the material, I would have probably made it out of a brown material, but I didn't have any. You can see here that basically I am taking some batting from quilting, and in the first one I did not put batting on the back and just had 2 lumps on the top to create the shape I wanted. It didn't work very well at all without the batting on the back, so I went back and I fixed it. I'm just using some paper tape here over it because, like I said, I didn't have fabric and I was just doing it out of stuff I had, and it turned out pretty well. Don't try and cut through a mason jar lid with a freaking X-Acto knife. It's not going to work. Instead, use a foam ball or something, glue it in, and it'll be safe. Instead of using that clear sphere you see in the costume, I used a mason jar because that's what I had, and I figured it would match probably the mason jar I was drinking out of that night for my party. So I'm painting here. The paint job's pretty rough. It's definitely not high cosplay, but you know what? I really enjoyed this costume. I really enjoyed having it. People liked seeing it. Lots of people asked me if I could make it functional. No, I'm not going to do that. So I just hot glue gunned the leather belt onto the back of this mason jar, and I made my own little indent, and that's all. There's probably a better way to attach it, but I really liked it and I really enjoyed it. And hopefully you enjoyed my video. So subscribe and watch out for my next videos. Let's go! Do do do!